Hello and welcome to Statescoop TV. I'm Jake Williams. Today our guest is Arizona CIO Morgan Reed. Morgan, how you doing?
Great, thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. So Morgan, what are your top priorities for the year ahead and what challenges do you face with those priorities?
So I'm 11 months in the job. After the first 6 months, we developed our statewide strategic plan for IT, which is a combination of things that we know we need to do organically, evolve these technologies, get off these ones that are unsupported, in addition to what the governor's office has asked us to do in terms of an enterprise IT, and also what our agencies need. We try to be responsive to them. The top 5 initiatives, six, are build a world-class IT organization. We need the right people on the bus. We need the right people at the controls to help us manage these technologies. Second is to develop our technology roadmap, let our customers know what to expect and when to expect it. It's part of our transparent government. The third is to optimize our service catalog. When I started, we have 150 things in our service catalog, and as a career IT person, I couldn't even tell you what some of these meant. They were IT people written by geeks for geeks, so we said, what is the business impact of these guys? So we tore it down. We actually streamlined it from 150 items to 80, and we're about to bundle some services together and have that 40 things that we do and we do well, either on staff or with public-private partnerships. We're also making sure that we secure the enterprise. Everything that we have internally, we need to keep the bad guys out, and we also do a lot of enterprise security for our agencies. So if they're behind our firewalls and our umbrellas, if you will, they're going to get the best benefit of lower cost and better IT. We're also trying to deliver transformative technologies in the state. We're not here to incrementally improve, we're here to leapfrog. And some of that's going to be through SaaS implementations, managed services. I'm a career data center guy, but when I look at my data center, I can't with a straight face tell anybody to move their servers into it. So we're looking at public-private partnerships, whether it's something that they did in Texas, something they did in Ohio. It's a great part about NASCIO is I can come and learn from my peers. We're here to share notes. Addition to those transformative technologies, we need to improve our governance, and that's something that Texas spent millions of dollars in years developing this. They said, here you go, you can put your logo on it. So knowledge sharing is fantastic, but from a service management perspective, we need to be able to say, what are our uptime, our SLAs, our dashboards, and the reporting to show that we are getting the best value for the state, especially if we end up in an outsourced model with some of our technologies where the vendors are doing it for us. We need to be able to hold them accountable and show value to our stakeholders.
So one of the exciting things about you is that you still are relatively fresh from the private sector. Mm-hmm. But in the past 11 months that you've been on the job, what has been one of the more exciting and fun areas that you're really passionate about when it comes to state IT?
Cybersecurity has been fun. I actually, a couple classes away from my master's, but I did it with a focus on cyber. And now being able to be, somewhat in charge, I really say my CISO is in charge. Mike Letman does a fantastic job for us. But to be able to say that we're charged with keeping the state safe, keeping the bad guys out, is something that we can't do alone. I can't hire the kind of cyber talent that the private sector can, nor do I want to try to compete with them over those resources. So we have a lot, from our staff of about 12 people, we have 24/7 security monitoring across dozens of controls. And to be able to show the value in that, some of our providers have threat maps, heat maps, red, yellow, green for the agencies. And it's really compelling for me to be able to talk in terms of the business to sit down with an agency CIO or an agency director. Here is where your agency is at risk. And those check printing things, we print it off a check and you're exposed there. Just be able to let them know what's possible and how we can, what they need to do to protect themselves. So it's something that is top of mind for us, and nothing we roll out will be any less than as secure as we can make it.
Interesting. And so again, you're still relatively fresh on the job, but how would you say that Arizona is really at the forefront of technology innovation?
One of the things that we're trying to do is be more collaborative. Transparent government not only means what do we share with the public in terms of where we're going, how we're getting there, but how do we talk to each other? One of the most innovative things we've done is brought in Facebook at Work, which is basically the same Facebook platform, but for a corporate audience. This isn't between government and citizens. This is between government and their employees. So it's one of those things that breaks down the silos of government. So I have platforms. I have a working group called agents or state CIOs. It's 98 of my friends that we get together once a month to talk about at the CIO Council. What are the projects that we're moving forward? But virtually, we can now have those conversations, on our phones in real time. We can share links to articles and best practices. And from the top down, it's getting really great traction. Our biggest Facebook user is actually the director of the Department of Administration. He has grandkids, but he's out there posting, asking questions, sharing information. In a traditional hierarchy of government, the lowest or the newest employee in my organization is not necessarily going to know who my boss is, but he can post a question and people can interact with him real time. We can like it, we can share it. It makes it more of a two-way conversation instead of one-way. And I encourage any other government entity. I think we are the first government in the world to do it, but we encourage any other government to take a look at it.
And so that's interesting. I mean, taking approaches like that, we talk about innovation a lot in this space, and we use it as a lovely buzzword all the time. But what does innovation really mean to you, and what does it really mean in Arizona? And how are you guys trying to change the game?
I was hired out of the private sector to leapfrog and transform technology. So we can no longer look at what are the other states doing or what did they do 5-10 years ago, how can we keep up? We're asking ourselves, what would the private sector do? The things that I learned at GoDaddy and Expedia in terms of best-in-class technology, we're trying to bring those tech solutions to the state to solve government problems. Recently, the governor's chief operating officer and one of our senators and I flew out to Silicon Valley to look at venture capitalist firms and where they're investing their money in terms of startups and how can we use emerging private sector tech to solve government problems. So we want to be at the forefront. We want to use the most efficient and effective solutions out there to solve government problems, and hopefully we'll be leading the way and have some good examples for me to share at future NASCIO conferences.
That's great. And what's keeping you up at night? What are some of the difficult parts of the job that really keep you stressed out? Honestly,
after coming out of the private sector, working, supporting 24/7 operations for GoDaddy and Expedia, I sleep like a baby. This is one of the least stressful jobs I had. Really, it's the opportunity. It's a target-rich environment. There's so many legacy applications that need modernization. There's so many problems that have been solved in the private sector, and I've solved at previous jobs. It's just, are we doing enough fast enough? That's really where I get anxious, because I want to deliver as much as I can for Arizona as quickly as I can. And we work through the budget cycles. We work through the legislative cycles. Those things force us to slow down a little bit, but ultimately, it's a target-rich environment, and I'm really excited to help Arizona transform.
That's awesome. Well, Morgan, thanks for being with us today. I appreciate your time.
Thanks, Jake.
For more about what's going on in Arizona, as well as what Morgan's doing in his department, check out statescoop.com and subscribe to the Daily Scoop daily email newsletter. Again, I'm with Morgan Reed. He's the CIO for the state of Arizona, and I'm Jake Williams. Thanks for watching.